I know a couple of people having a couple of issues getting on.
Absolutely. What's up, brother Frederick? How you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. What's good?
Working, man. Working, brother. Everything is well, though, man.
A couple people saying the link not working. Let me see what's going on with that. Say you working?
Working, man. Grinding, brother. Grinding, man. Trying to get to that sub 2 place that you're at, man. So
I know,
everything is
right? And
well,
I'm
bro.
trying to get over there where you at. That's crazy, right? I'm trying to get into the midterms, and you trying to get into sub 2, bro.
I know, but hey, I'm glad we know each other. You got me? So it's
Yes,
all love.
sir. Give me 1 second. Let me send the link out because a couple people saying it's not, they can't get in.
Yeah.
Gonna get started. 1 second. Let's see. Okay, hopefully they can get in. Yeah, I just want to introduce myself, man. I'm Frederick Ward. I've been living here in Atlanta since 2002. I've been doing credit since 2008, real estate since 2014, and I stumbled across the method of subject to, and ever since I've been killing it with the sub 2 game. So credit score been over 800 for the last 10 years. Never dropped below 800. So hey, proud of that. You know what I'm saying? I met my
Absolutely.
man Preston here
Yeah.
at an event that we went to last weekend, 3-day event.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
he was telling me about the what you do, the midterms and the
Special need housing. Yeah, I like to call it special
Airbnbs.
need. Yes.
Yeah,
A little bit of
yeah.
mixture.
So go ahead, tell us. So how you get started in your journey? I know you said you've been doing real estate for 25 years?
25 years, man. I like to tell everybody the story. Like I said, if you don't mind, Fred, I like to take people back. They call it the hero story, but at the end of the day, I think everyone has a story, man. So, we're all, we all have our certain fingerprint. So I'll just kind of just go back, man. Like I said, I was born and raised in North Philadelphia. I like to tell everybody, man, I grew up in the same neighborhood as Kevin Hart and Meek Mills.
Okay.
Very, very rough part of North Philly. I grew up in the projects. Grandmother was an alcoholic. My mom stayed with my grandmother while my sister was born. I think I was 1 when we moved. We wound up moving to Southwest Philadelphia. So I kind of grew up in that hip hop generation when things was just taking off. You talking about Steady B, Cool C, Fresh Prince, Jazzy Jeff. I grew up around a lot of those guys, and my cousin was actually the A&R for Rockefeller. So when I was around that, man, for a long time, like I said, in West Philadelphia, just being in that presence of a lot of entrepreneurs, people hustling, getting money. And then when I was 15 years old, man, someone had broken into our home and my mother was murdered, man. So it had changed the trajectory of my life. I went to move with my father, which was happily remarried at that time, a suburb outside of Philadelphia called Norristown. So when I went to live with my dad, very suburban. My dad was very blue collar, very tough. So he kind of shaped me up as a young Black African American male, helped me change my mindset. And I was then able to go on to Penn State University, where I was on the Penn State boxing team, member of Kappa Alpha Psi. Shout out to the Noops. I was president of MECA, Multi-Ethnic Culture Association, and I was a part of SGA. So my senior year in college, I was studying economics, and I watched the Carlton Sheets video. Can you hear me, brother? You all right?
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Okay. So, watching the Carlton Sheets video, and I said, okay, well, if school doesn't work out for me, this is what I'm going to do. I'm a risk taker. And that's how my journey began, man. So I just started investing in real estate, made my first $5,000, and things took off, man. So if you want me to continue with the story, I can, or is that enough for you? Or I can
No,
keep
no,
rolling.
I'm interested. How did you make your
Okay.
first 5,000? What you do? A wholesale deal or what? What you do?
Yeah, I came home and I just was following what they was telling us to do. I started dropping signs, which I still do to this day, man. I like to put signs out. I'll
Okay.
test whether I want to go printed signs or if I go handwritten. But I started putting signs around the city. I have a right elephant brain. You know what I mean? So if you tell me to do something, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you probably noticed,
Yeah.
Frederick, work with you. You say do this, I'm gonna do exactly that. If I don't get the
Yeah.
result, like, all right, well, it ain't work. But when somebody say do something, I do exactly what they tell me, man. And I got that first check, and it was like it was curtains from there.
Man, you literally call me every day with so many sub two deals. I'm like, dang, I said, bro, how you get all these deals? You put the person on the phone and be like, yep. Like I'm like, dang, bro, I don't know how you doing it, but you find the deals, but you need somebody to help you with that to get to the closing table though, right?
Yeah, yes, indeed. But like I said, but I mean, you're a very brilliant guy, man. I said you have a very analytical brain, so you're very systemizing your process. Like, by you being a realtor, you know exactly how to do things verbatim. I mean, verbatim. Which sometimes, I jump out the box, but I always know how to go into the jungle and bring back the lion's head. So that's my concept, man. Go get the lion's head. You know.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah.
sub two, man, I did my first one, I think it was 2018, bro. I
Okay.
paid $2,000 for it.
Wow. Amazing.
And
That's amazing stuff. Yeah.
I took over their payments. It was at 131,000. Now that house worth like 400,000.
That's what it said. That's the American dream right there.
Exactly.
That's the
You get
epitome
into
of the
the
American
sub two,
dream.
and that's what I teach my students, man. I got one young lady on now. She did her first one like 2 months in the class. She closed on her sub two. So that
Well,
was. I mean,
well, so I
it
said,
works.
yeah,
A lot of people don't.
congratulations, man.
A lot of people can't wrap their head around it. You know what I'm saying? The process, it's a lot. It's a lot to go into it. But once
Yeah,
you get the hang of it, bro, and you start buying them, hey man. And then if you could do the midterms like what you're doing, that would
yeah,
be crazy. So I,
yeah,
I
definitely.
definitely,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
definitely want to know a little bit more about that midterm stuff. So, how much
Yeah.
are these people getting a month for doing the midterm stuff? Like, what is it? Explain that midterm.
A midterm is it's an extension of short term. That's all it is, man. Like, when Airbnb and all that stuff like that started, I guess other companies came on board and said, okay, well, if Airbnb is doing this, then you have VRBO. Then VRB came off, and then another extension of that. So I think what started to happen with the competition, the name midterm came because now short term is anywhere from a couple days, maybe long term a month, 30 days.
Okay.
Midterms mean anywhere between 30 days to about 6 months. You know what I mean? So it's just extended off. So midterm is half of a year. Let's call it that. So you're looking at sometimes 6 months on average.
Okay. Okay. And what kind of profit are you seeing from that? Do you have to put a lot of money into it? Because I know some people saying that you have to go in and furnish the house and all that stuff. So what kind of money are you putting into your deals when you do it?
Yeah, it's the same thing as Airbnb. Let's say we got a couple of Airbnbs, but like I was telling you, had problems with people smoking and kicking indoors. But it's the same thing. You're furnishing it like you would furnish an Airbnb, but if you can make this stuff a little bit more quality, you attract a way better tenant. But it doesn't have to be high class furniture. Just keep in mind, man, like if you are renting to someone that lost their house or their house is burnt down, I mean, you want them to be able to come at home and feel comfortable. So it's up to you or where your budget is at, but just make it nice. And like I said, people are looking for housing, man. Like I was always told by my grandma that there's three businesses that will never go out of business. One is the healthcare industry, second is real estate, and lastly, female shoes. You know what I mean? Female shoes. So they're gonna always always be in business. So I chose one of the three. So I know I'll always be safe.
No, most definitely. I fell in love with the Section 8 route, man. I don't know. I just fell in love with that route, man. I just put it on Section 8. They pay me every month, and I ain't got to do nothing else, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of like been my lane. But I
Mhm.
know so many people that been talking about this midterm stuff, and they getting how much are they making? Like $5,000, $10,000 a month? Like, is that true?
Yeah. Yeah, they are like I said, some companies, and I've seen this over the last year. I think like with anything, like how Airbnb, once a market gets it's like supply and demand. Like once a
Okay.
market gets flooded, then what starts to happen is the prices start to go down. And I think what was happening with midterm renters, it still is, but on average, to answer your question, it's anywhere between 4,500 up to $10,000. So a lot of people have made that $10,000 mark, but I think now that a lot of the insurance agencies are hip to what we're doing, it's like, all right, well, you know what? Let us negotiate a little bit harder. If the people are desperate and need a place to go, then you can come back in and say, listen, I'm not budgeting off of 7, or I think I deserve 8, and you can negotiate that. It's up to you to take the risk, but I like to get in and get out, so I don't mind taking 4,500 or 5,000 to make a profit, but that's the range, anywhere between five up to about $10,000 on 4 and 5
Okay.
bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of family are these displaced families, like the house burned down or flood or something like that? Or what kind of families are moving into your property?
It's really only two that you'll usually see is either flood or fire damage. I haven't seen anything else, but those are usually the two. And once I learned how to do my pre-screen sheet, that's one of the things I've learned that to either ask the adjuster or the social worker and say, if you don't mind me asking, what's their situation? I like to start there because then they'll just naturally tell you that you know what you're dealing with. Oh, they had like the people that stay in my house right now, their kids was out back smoking for some reason, and the gas was left on and the back of the house blew up. So so she told me the story and we just started talking. I was like, wow, so where are they staying now? And, oh, they got, they're in a hotel, 3 is in this room and 3 is in that room. So you got to pull them questions out of them so you can kind of know their situation, how to negotiate. And they don't realize you're negotiating right there, but you're just gathering information. And that helps you make a better negotiation stats.
Most definitely. I got a friend that did it. She was telling me about it today. I think her 6 months, she did for 8 months. She was making 4,500 for 8 months, right?
Yeah.
Um, but she says how they keep their house the same. Whatever happened to their house is pretty much what they gonna kind of do in your house, right? She
Yeah.
said she got broken windows. She just going down the list, right? She was telling me the good and bad. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it is some cons to it too, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Like you said, somebody smoking in the back and left the gas on, blew up the back of the house. Like, are they doing any kind of damage to your property within
What
that
I've
short?
agreed, yeah, what I've agreed to do is to do a 30-day inspection. So what I always do, I stop past there every once in a while because it's funny. The guy that I partner with actually lives on that corner. They don't know that, but he lives on the corner and
Okay.
he owns a floor company. So he's kind of keeping an eye on it. And I'll pop in because we have a great relationship. But one thing that I did notice is that they are pack rats. So that the house, when we first gave it to him, I mean, it was spotless and gorgeous. Now, when I went over there, all the rooms are filled with clothes and stuff like that. It's not dirty, but I can't discriminate and make people live a certain way.
Exactly.
My thing is, and they tell you this with the insurance companies, you can pre-screen them like any tenant. You don't have to say yes to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can pre-screen them. You can do background screenings. You can interview, and if you don't like them, so be it. But if you're looking to get your place rented and not be bothered, you got the insurance company backing you. Like I'm not hard to work with, man. Like you need
Yeah.
it. You need a place. Here, take it. Have a good time. And I'll see you when the security deposit is due, and then we'll do a walkthrough.
Is anybody here ever did a midterm? If you want to ask Preston any question, you can feel free to ask him a question. Like I said, he been in the game for 25 years, y'all. Like, so he been around a little bit. And you do the renovation too, kind of like myself. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah,
that
I
I
know.
mean, my thing is the way I look at it, I don't want to go in and spend 3 months renovating a property, right? Just to put someone in there for 6 months and then they tear it up. Now I got to go in there and do it again. My
Yes.
thought process, I put them in and I forget about it, right? Because when I put them in, it's like a brand new house because I'm gonna go through the whole house. Once I put
Mhm.
them in there, I never worry about the house again. I just move on, just keep doing it over and over and over. But that 45 to 10,000 sounds real good per property.
Yes, per property, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, like you said, I mean, if you've been in the Section 8 game, I've done Section 8 before too, like where you're pretty much done with the housing authority. You have to get your voucher.
Yeah.
Back and forth. I think we had to take a Saturday class. It was like eight hours of credit or something like that. And then you're able to go ahead and use that and put Section 8 in there. I don't know what the prices are. I met with the veterans a couple of weeks ago with the VAST program to see if I wanted to use veterans in some of my places, and they directed me to the housing authority. And I got some decent numbers, $1,700, or you can do single room occupancy. I don't know, man, because one thing about Atlanta, if you run an ad anywhere, like you're getting a lot of those people anyway, man. So I'm dealing with, yeah, transitional housing. So you down here, you almost can't lose. You know what I mean? You almost can't, yeah, you almost can't lose. Like, you just got to put your number out there and have a good product. And I think the people will come, man.
So you don't think the midterm will work in like a small city?
I mean, it can, and here's why I said a small city because we've done statistics and research on Airbnb markets like Kissimmee, Florida, certain parts of Tennessee, Houston. So we know those hot areas too. But one thing that people don't understand about the midterm rental market, if you look at the places like North Carolina, the Midwest, Kansas, certain parts of Texas where they have a lot of storms at. Now, if you go to a place that have a lot of storms, you're probably gonna hit that 9 to 10,000 easy, because you
Yeah.
got to imagine it. Let's say, for example, right now, if you had a midterm rental near a city that just had a tornado, you know how many people need
Yeah.
housing? You know what I
Yes.
mean? And that's where you can say, well, listen, there are 13,000 houses got damaged. We charge you 13,000. We'll
Yeah.
give you that. Yeah, because they're trying to place them. Like a lot of people are displaced. So some people's strategies are, all right, let me, and I know those towns because we've done the research, but let me go to certain parts of North Carolina, or even like up in I want to say up in Georgia by South Carolina. I forget the name of it. But the northern parts of Georgia, and places that there's a lot of storms, like
Hmm.
they're crushing it. You know what I mean? But do I want to go up there and risk it? But that's how you get the big time money. Just place your units there. A lot of places that have storms, whether it's tornadoes, hurricanes, what have you. So you have to do that research and find out. But that's who's making the big money.
Yeah, that's a nugget right there. So I will only look at places that have a lot of storms. And like
Yeah.
fires, there's not a whole lot of fires around here, like, every day or every week, right? So
Yeah.
to do that and make that kind of money, I mean, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of slim, you know what I'm saying? But like you said,
Yeah.
if you get in that market where got a lot of storms, but then your house might be in the storm, you know what I'm saying? So it's so that's
It could be, but I mean, not like, even like with tornadoes. Like, you'll be surprised how tornadoes go. Like they tear up a certain mile radius, and it's like, damn, like some people's houses got hit and some people's don't. You know what I mean? So if yours is in it, hey, you lucked out. But if it's not, and you're 3 miles, north or east, man, like they're gonna be calling you like crazy. So when you list, they'll be calling you like, yo, listen, we got 13 families. And if I was in that situation, I would sit back and say, well, we're charging 14,000. And they'll be beating down your door. 14,000 will be nothing
a
for a four or
month.
five bedroom a month. Yes. Easy. Easy. Easy, bro. Easy.
So why do you want to get in the sub two though? Why you want to switch over to sub two?
Why do I want to get in the sub two? Like I said, I told you before, man, I used to own a home investor. So, man, back in 2007, around that area, like I said, as we was going into the crash, and we kind of got out of it in the middle of the crash. I mean, we was doing everything, man. We were young back then, but we didn't realize what we should have been doing. You know what I mean? Like I said, we was wholesaling, rehabbing, lease options, subject to land trust, like whatever came in the buckets, we was calling around random, like, what was we do this? And we were just doing it, not knowing that our strategy should have been hold on to some and then flip some, or wholesale some, rehab some, and then and hope. We were just making it rain, man. You know what I mean? I don't do it no more, but we was at the club throwing $100 bills and just happy to be making a lot of money. But now, I'm a lot wiser and smarter, and I understand the real estate curve. And now we're heading to a buyer's market. So the last time I seen a buyer's market was around 2010. I didn't understand it. Now I do. This is where you should be sitting your behind down and saying, you know what? There's more sellers than it is buyers, and I need to be grabbing this stuff very cheaply or raising money and holding on to it for the next 5 to 8 years. And especially if you get a 10-year balloon, they're going to double in 10 years. And now you're sitting back on a 300,000 house in Atlanta, and now 8 to 10 years, that thing is worth 600,000. Do I
Yes.
hold it? Do I sell it? And if you
Yes.
got 20, if you got 20 of them, you'll probably see me in Hawaii sipping a mate. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, they go Preston, yeah, at that time. But yeah, just having fun, man, just being smart. So that's it.
So normally every 15 years the price of a house doubles, and every 10 years the price of the rental market doubles. So if you think about it, 10 years ago, what you paying now and what you was paying 10 years ago, it doubled for rent, right?
Yeah.
So I end up one of my tenants ended up moving out in 2022, right? They was
Mhm.
paying 1,500. I said, I'm going up 500 because I did a 2-year lease, right? Never do a 2-year lease again ever. So
Okay.
because you want to go up every year, right? You don't want to do 2-year leases, just do your 12-month leases. So it was like no, I'm gonna move. I don't want to pay 2,000, right? So they end up moving. They end up moving. They moved out. I put it on Section 8, got 3,000.
Woo. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They was crying about the 2,000, but when I put it on Section 8, they paid me 3,000. So I'm like, dang. So after that, I just started putting everything on Section 8, bro.
Wow. Yeah. Like I say, and you get good numbers there, man. I haven't done it in Atlanta. I mean, but if you're getting them kind of numbers, I mean, like I said, you got low numbers, you got medium, you got high. But as long as you're making a profit, like that's all that matters. Because like I said, a lot of my mentors, people I talked to over the years, like they're happy with, $500 a month in passive income after all expenses are paid. Some people, I think Airbnb spoiled a lot of people, so they like that 2,000, 2,300, and then now with midterm rentals and transitional housing, like people are getting, $3,600 a month, and so it just depends on where you want to be at, what's your risk level, and what you're willing to do. So yeah.
I know you've been in the Airbnb for a while. You had what, 5 of them?
Yeah, five. Yep.
And
Five.
you just got rid of them because I hear Airbnb is dead, man. What do you think?
It is, man. Like and what happened pretty much, and I was hard headed from the standpoint because when I first got in, I had showed someone how to do it. And we made a profit. My partner wanted to buy me out, and I was like, all right, Airbnb is hot. But then after COVID, I kind of waited, and I should have been shifting when I seen a lot of other people shift. They started going to the Houston's, Dallas. There were certain areas that was hot, and by me being in Atlanta, just moving here 5 years ago, I was like, well, you know what? I'll stay in my backyard. And one thing that I did not respect was the number far as like say your occupancy rate. And
Mhm.
everybody kept saying, look at that number, look at that number. And the lowest you want to be is at 60%. And I bought about maybe 2 houses, one in Marietta and another one, I think it was near Decatur, but it was like occupancy rate was like around 56%. And I thought that, Atlanta's hot, I can I can do it. And then when people are not calling you or booking, it all goes back to the occupancy rate. So you don't, if you need to be at 60% or higher. So right now, to answer your question, Atlanta is flooded. It's flooded where Airbnbers and the smart Airbnbers have either left or gotten out of here, man. So it's just, it's oversaturated. It really is.
Wow.
It is. Yeah.
One of my friends was telling me about if you file a complaint, like if they smoking in your property or something like that, and you file a complaint, that they'll stop sending you people. Did you
Yes.
hear
Yep.
anything like that's true?
That is true too. What happened is I think Airbnb is I think they have outsourced their company to and no disrespect if it's any Indians on this line, but it's over it's over in India. So what happens with a lot of Indians when you call, like they don't care who they're talking to. And I've had this conversation with them before. I'm like, why are y'all just letting your consumer or your client just get away with anything? Like, we're the landlords, we're the people who's providing the house, and y'all, everything that they say, y'all just let it go. And it's like, okay. And then if you say anything, boom, it's like they give them the money. And I'm just like, you know what? And I just kind of had it from that standpoint too. And that's what kind of made me shift into midterm rental. So I'm kind of a little pissed with Airbnb for that right now, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Anybody got any questions for Preston?
Hi, Preston. This is Danielle. I probably came in a short bit, like 5 minutes after some
That's all right.
hiccups.
What's up,
Got
Danielle?
you
How
to
you
get in.
doing?
Nice to meet you, Preston, and I appreciate you taking the time out to fill us in on the process of midterm rental. I'm the one who told Fred about my Airbnb FUPAs. And
Okay.
yes, that like you said, yeah, and that algorithm, all that other crap that they're doing. And yes, I agree with you. It's all Indians.
Yep.
So I did run into another person who was a host for Airbnb, and he told me he's doing midterm rentals.
Mhm.
So when Fred said he's having a class today, I'm like, shoot, yes, put me in because I am a host for Airbnb and I got a property that I'm getting ready to put up for rental. And I didn't want to put it on Airbnb, to be honest with you, because of the up and down and the bias with Airbnb when
Oh
it
man.
comes to don't give a damn about hosts. So I was looking forward to getting into the midterm rental. One of the guys who was an Airbnb host, he's doing it now. He does it. So do you do for the traveling nurses? He does for those traveling nurses, flight attendant, or you do just for insurance claims?
I do a little bit of everything. I've done nurses before too. So the same thing with nurses, what's starting to happen there too. And I'll kind of explain this to you guys. That market too is just getting, like, everybody's going traveling nurse crazy. So what's starting to happen? They're starting to get savvy from the standpoint of, like anything, when they get saturated, your prices go from here and they start to drop. So what they're doing, they're negotiating now and saying, well, you know what? I don't want to pay that. But here's a caveat to that. That's an excellent way to find MTR clients, because what they do, they go to Airbnb, they go to the traveling nurse site, and then they go to the insurance sites. So when they go in there, I learn how to use my subscription, and I search for them. I'll look in there, and they'll have a description saying what their client needs, house burnt down, or this. That's an MTR agency looking for you. So if you were to list your property, just go in there and search. And I showed a lot of my friends how to go in there, and they'd be like, "Oh, damn, that's a social worker." Yes, they're looking for you. So so with that being said, you can do traveling nurses, but you got to be very careful, because now they pretty much want they want cheaper prices, I should say. You know what I mean? Like they're looking for great deals, and it's like, and then when you give them your price, they're like, well, I can get a 2-bedroom apartment for it. Well, go get a 2-bedroom apartment. You know what I mean? Why are you here looking for short-term rentals? So yeah. So I hope that kind of helps you.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. I have another question too.
Help yourself.
Have you ever kept your property on Airbnb and did midterm rental all at the same time?
I've tried that, but like I said, I'm so frustrated with Airbnb. What would happen is sometimes I will get a listing, let's say a weekend listing on Airbnb, and then all of a sudden I'll get a midterm client that will call me, and you know where your loyalty gonna lie. You know what I mean? If you at 40% opposite Airbnb, it's like, all right, talk to y'all later. So what I've done, because sometimes Airbnb, they give you a hard time, man. But so what I've done now is say, okay, and I've helped people do this, is when you get your property, before you kind of start putting them on all them sites, have your strategy. So if you want to go midterm rental, go there first. And then if you're not getting the hits you want, then go to plan B or C. But start there while you're halfway through your finish or what have you. And then what they'll do sometime, and what they're doing is they'll say, listen, you don't even have to furnish the rest of it. We'll take it just like it is. So you might not have to spend $8,000 for furniture. The people might want to bring their own furniture, or the insurance company will pay them, which is part of their policy, to bring fresh new furniture in there for 6 months, and they'll move it back out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that they're doing, trying to work with you. So if you don't feel as though, let's say, for example, if they give you $4,500 and they want it vacant, that's a profit, because it's like, I didn't have to pay $8,000 on furniture. So my thing is, do all that stuff up front before you even start. Call them first and say, listen, I got some, or list them, I got something. What do y'all want? They might say, leave it just like that, and then they'll start the negotiations. If you get to $4,500, stop right there and say, yo, y'all can have it vacant, $4,500 for 6 months, and then there you go. So yeah.
Are you calling the insurance companies and directly in doing this, or how can someone put their property on a midterm rental?
When I say call them, Fred, what I mean by that, you and I talked about this. The first strategy is to always list them. You know what I mean? Like I said, you and I shared this, and obviously I think I've blessed you very nicely. I mean, but you take that whole list of like 17 different agencies and one that you like, and then you follow the process and just post. And then once you post, it's just like how with Airbnb or anything else, not as complex, but you're putting it out there on their site and saying, I have something available, and then it goes into their algorithm. So what I always do when I say call, I'm a follow-up guy. So if I put something out there, I want to know, have you got my call, or have you got my message, and what's going on? And I do that with Frederick too. He'll tell you, I call him and heckle him sometime. But I'm a kind of guy I like to talk to people. And that's it. And once you put it out there, you'll start getting hits. And then the rest you just got to negotiate. So
are they calling you, like when you put it out there? Are they calling you and talking to you about it, or how they getting in touch with you?
Yes, they're calling you, because you're putting your contact number there. So they're not worried about if you're a business or if you're a single person. Only thing they worry about is your house. That's it. So let's say on average, and I'll kind of give you guys some statistics. Let's say if you put a house on these different sites, you might get maybe between 4 to 6 calls. Because again, it takes, maybe like about a week to get into the system. I would do some follow-up calls. And then once they know that you're ready to go, they'll start sending it around to their different agents. And then you'll start getting calls. So I've got a call actually from an agency that had a person. It was just him and his wife. And they was looking for a smaller unit, but the only thing that was available in that area at that time was a 4-bedroom that we had. And I was like, well, how many is it? And they was like, it's not a family, it's a husband and wife, and they'll take anything. And I think they were around $6,500. And I went to move on that, but they needed a link. So, I kind of dropped the ball on that one, and I was able to renegotiate and get somebody else. But you'll get a little bit of everybody, man. So it's up to you.
So what's your goal? Your goal for your next property is to buy it sub 2 and then put it on midterm? Is that your goal, kind of buying it sub 2 and then doing the midterm with it?
Yeah, my goal as far is subject to, like I mentioned, I want to build wealth, number one, but I want to hold on to these properties and take advantage of what's getting ready to happen in our economy. And like you and I discussed too, Frederick, is I have 5 different strategies. By me being in the special needs housing, and I kind of have my tag too, like when I go certain places, I have to kind of let people know when I'm meeting with agencies that I've done this before, so that when I have my tag from years ago. But either MTR can be one, corporate housing can be 2. Obviously, like I said, lease purchase or like Section 8 can be another one. Transitional housing can be a 4th one, which is pretty much either drug and alcohol. You can do prison re-entry, or you can do homeless, which right now, of course, my frat brother, Andre Dickens, which is the mayor, like I said, he has a homeless initiative. They're looking to get people off the streets, you know what I mean? So they're giving a lot of money away to these agencies. And then the last one, I don't know if everybody knows about this, but pad split. So if you guys haven't heard about pad split, like that's the new thing. Back in Philly, a lot of people say have illegal rooming houses. Like that used to be a big thing, illegal rooming houses. And it was illegal to do, but now what pad split has done, they have made that a new thing, and they have found a way to legalize rooming houses. So what they'll do is take a 4-bedroom and turn it into a 7 or 8-bedroom. So now you're getting between $700 to $900 per room. And with that being said, if anybody or any county tries to fight it, what they're protected under is called the Fair Housing Act of 1968, that more than 3 people can live together in a common space and be considered a family. So that the counties have lost every court case trying to fight pad split. So right now, pad split is crushing it. And that's one of like my top 3 that we're doing. Yeah,
I got one of my mentees on here, Bo. He kind of do that. I don't know if it passed split or what. Bo, is you on? I think I saw you on here. I think he was doing.
Yes, I'm on. Yes,
Okay,
I'm
is
here.
that what you using? Pass split?
Actually, that deal didn't go. I had a church that kind of just wanted to rent the whole thing out, but it didn't go through because the church was not ready financially. So right now, I'm just renting it out to individual, just families, But I never heard of the ad split. That's
yeah,
something
please research it. And when you go on their website, they'll show you how they break a regular 3 or 4-bedroom house down, and how they separate and divide the rooms. Or they even have a blueprint on their site of how they do it, like almost like SCAD drawings of how they break it down, and they compare what you will make for a regular 3 or 4-bedroom, and if you use them, what you will make. So like how you are, Freddie, it's very conservative. It's good numbers. Like I said, it's not a skyrocket number, but it could be a healthy $1,200 to $1,500 in passive income per property, and they manage it for you. It's like, so you don't have to worry about the management or anything. So the management fee is included.
Okay, that's not.
Yeah, I did something like that, and I'll never do it again. But each is own, right? So I
Yeah,
would never.
but Fred, but the way that works, what he's talking about is they can go log into the system, because I heard about it too from some other lenders. They log into the system, they put a ticket number in, and for the repair. So you could they'll send you that ticket number, you do the repair, or they can send someone out, do the repair, and take it from your funds. All of these people are vetted. So they're normally people that's working class people. They make sure that the credit is on point. before they send them over. So the other folks are using them, so they're lucrative. Or you can do it on your own and go, because Trulia has the individual room rentals. So you can log in to set it up on Trulia, but that Pass Split, and there's another company like that as well. It takes care of everything and you get your rent.
Preston, my name is Angela. How about crash pads? Have you ever heard of crash pads for flight attendants?
Yes,
sort of
yes,
like
indeed.
Yeah.
And how you doing there, Angela? Too.
Hey.
I've heard of every last one of them, and I've researched. I researched all of them, man, because Airbnb was, like I said, getting on my nerves. So yes, and the reason why I heard about Pass Split, because my daughter, I'm sorry, Crash Pad is my daughter is an airline attendant. So she actually, she just graduated from Georgia State. So she works for American Airlines. So when I had researched it, and if you guys go onto their site too, only thing about them, their rooms are super duper cheap. I don't know why, because I was going to actually list a property on there before, and then I seen like they were getting like $200 a room for a week or something. I'm like, that's not, not a lot of money. Yeah, like if you go on Crash Pad of what the people are paying, it's very cheap. Like it's not a lot of money. So I was looking at what they
Preston,
charge.
I was a flight attendant for Southwest, and so I was stationed in BWE, which is Baltimore and Vegas. And shoot, that's cheap because that's not what they're doing now. You're gonna pay about $350 to $400, and you're putting 4 people in a room. They're gonna get bunk beds. They got at least 4 people in a room, and they're getting $400 a person. And they're making you put down deposits. And then, if you wanted a room by yourself, you almost paying what you would pay for a full rental. So I stayed in Baltimore. There was. You could get a room with 2. You pay more based on how many people you want in a room. You can get a room with. I had a crash pad that I was looking for when I lost one. She was putting like 6 people in a room. She was charging them $300 to $400 a bed. And then if they wanted a room by themselves, you were paying about $800 for just that room. So crash pads are really it really. If you're closer to the airport, it benefits. But if you have one where you can get rides and get them where they're done, you can make some money because you put at least four people in the room. And if they want to get in the room, if you got a 3-bedroom, you can have a room that got 4 beds. You can have a room that have 2 beds. You have a room that has 1 bed. And if they want to pay for that 1 bed and they want to be private, like say if they're there all the time, they'll pay anywhere from $800. And the guy was killing it. I know his mortgage probably was less than $1,200. He was getting that over and he was a pilot. And he was renting us the rooms I paid $400 a month for my bed. Yeah, $400.
So there you go. So that's probably, and I'll talk to my daughter about this, but every time I ask her about her experience, she flies all around the world. She always tells me like about the prices she pays. And I always compare to Airbnb, like that's just a little bit cheaper. But if they're doing it that way, that's the same way as the prison re-entry program where they pay by bed, but you're doing bunk beds. You understand? So the prison re-entry is they're pretty much using their insurance money. I don't know if it's Blue Cross or Blue Shield. So when they get their check once a month, they're pretty much paying for that bunk bed environment. Have I ever done it? I haven't done it that way. Not saying that I won't do it, but again, it will have to be somebody that knows how to set it up. And as long as you're cash flowing and it's consistent, I mean, hey, God bless you.
Yeah, I never heard of them. I never used them either.
Yeah, I've heard of Crash Pad, but everything too is evolving. But if you got somebody like that, like I say, give the number to Frederick. I mean, like we're always looking for the next thing, but it has to make sense where it's organized. Because again, I don't want have to be the one managing a house to an extent where you got 4 or 5 people in the room and then fights and stuff break out. But if it's an efficient system, hey, so be it. But that's kind of why I like Pass Split. But I will look into Crash Pad. So I thank you for that. And I appreciate it. I'm going to ask my daughter more about it when we talk next time as well.
Yeah, one of the good things about Crash Pad is they're really not there that often because you think when you go, they're there basically 3 days, right? Say they had a 3-day trip. Yeah. They're there. They're only coming really to sleep, change their clothes, and they're back out. It's one of the most cleanest places you're going to have because they're in and out because they got to get somewhere. What really benefits the Crash Pad the most is when you have a share ride. And that's what the guy was doing. Like you can get somebody to get them back and forth to to the airport. But for the most part, yeah, they're not there much. They're there to sleep, change their clothes, and then they're out of there. So you don't really have too much of them tearing up. You'll have some that maybe if they say I went there and my trip got canceled and I didn't want to go home, then I might stay in the crash pad 2 nights. But other than that, for the most part, I'm there when I get there the night before. I get there only the night before to stay the night. I'm flying out, do my 3 days. Once I come back for my 3 days, I'm staying the night again. And then I'm getting up early in the morning, I'm going home. So I was there, maybe 2 days, and I paid $300 a month. And it's clean. We have to leave it clean. I may possibly take a bath every now and then, but you got to pay you got to pay anywhere from $300 to $400 a month. And,
So let me ask you this. You just said $300 or $400 a month, but you say you stay for two nights. So what is it for the 2 nights?
You can't pay like that. It don't work. You ain't gonna pay based on nights. You got to pay on the month because you have access to it however you want to. So you don't base it on that many nights. You base it on the month, and that's up to them. Because if you're not gonna be there, that's on you. But we want somewhere to stay because you don't want to stay in the lounge. I'm gonna just tell you, if you stay in the lounge, some people try, but staying in the lounge ain't it because you ain't got nowhere to take a bath. So like I said, for the most part, just say if I got stuck and I was trying to find a trip, maybe I may possibly stay 2 days, but for back to back. But for the most part, you're only there to kind of stay, take a bath, and then get ready to go on your trip for the next day. Because when you commute, you need to be there the day before. You got to be there the day before. So you're gonna come in that night, or depending on where you at. Because in Baltimore, it was kind of hard to get out at night, so I sometimes had to leave in the daytime. So I don't want to just be sitting around. I want somewhere to go. So I'm in the crash pad probably from if I leave, say 12 o'clock, I'm in the crash pad from 12 o'clock up until it's time for me to go out to my next trip on the next day. And then when I come home, I might get in about 12. Then I come on to the crash pad. I spend the night. I'm back up 6 o'clock in the morning trying to get out of here. So you're not there much. But you can't do it by days. It's no such thing. Ain't nobody doing it like that.
That sounds like a whole nother topic right there. But we got Diamond hand up. Diamond, you got a question?
I was gonna say before your next question, real quick too, Frederick. What I was gonna say is when I talk to my daughter next, if you're interested in that, Frederick, my daughter, like I said, she travels, man. So she's a airline stewardess. And if you have any questions, she'll be happy to talk to you, Frederick, because she not only does she rent them out, but she can tell you the process. I don't know it, but if you want to know more about it, I can definitely put you on the line with my daughter. So,
bro, like I said before, I did that. I did something similar to that one time before, and I was like a principal at a high school, man. I was putting out fights and all kind of stuff. I said, never again, bro. I don't want to do that. So, such 8-day food, like, because it's all common shared space, right? Like the refrigerator, everything shared. And it didn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? So I have no interest in it.
Okay.
Diamond, you got a question?
Yeah, I do.
She's coming through very blurry, like.
Yeah, Diamond, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, now we can.
Okay, probably my headphones. I don't know what.
Put a face with a name.
That's all right. What's up, Diamond? How you doing, sweet?
Good. How are y'all?
What's up? What's up?
So, I love what y'all are talking about. This is right up my alley. So definitely looking forward to working with Frederick. We were talking earlier.
Yeah, it's kind of like some of the ones we looked at.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Speaking of.
Somebody's echoing. Yeah, somebody's echoing.
Yeah, I think somebody's mic is unmuted or something. But no, I was saying I'm excited. I'm looking forward to working with Frederick. We were talking earlier about just making sure that we purchase property, especially as agents, because we'll be working, and you'll just keep yourself in the field if you go about it that route, compared to actually buying and holding and doing something with the property. So we were going over the numbers with like the Section 8 and what the vouchers will pay. We literally have somebody looking to go ahead and rent out one of the homes that we got listed. So we were like, the conversation started from there, and it was like dope because I'm like, yo, hold on, I'm doing this backwards. So I'm like, listen, what I need to do to be able to get, like, I started with 3 and then I'm trying to do numbers in my head. I was like, all right, so what I need to do to get 10. But we were talking about like the opening costs and stuff, but I think this is great conversation because the reality of it is like, it's about elevating and being able to get ourselves to be able to have that residual income. And every structure that y'all are talking about is bringing in some type of passive income where we don't have to work. Like we're not robots, So it allows for us to have some of that freedom and create that wealth and even the legacy to pass on. I do have a question for you, Preston. When it comes to the Airbnbs, because I'm not a fan of Airbnbs anymore. So it's funny that y'all even brought up the rooms because I'm literally working with individuals and we're renting out rooms. And there is Andrew Dickens does have the whole ending homelessness initiation. There's a lady that works at a sickle cell space. She's giving us clients because these people need properties to rent out, but they're renting out rooms and it's very lucrative. It's very lucrative. So with the Airbnb portion though, I've been hearing over and over again about how people are getting the insurance companies to pay them for it. So like, say for example, if somebody's house floods or if it is something where their property burns down or something like that, they're going into these properties until their property gets fixed up. I heard you say putting it on Airbnb, but how are you getting the traction from the company for them to be interested in the property you're offering?
Well, actually, and I shared this with Frederick. I say he's a good friend of mine, but I gave him, there's a list of about, it could be more than 17, but I have about 17 insurance companies that the research was done. And we're just taking the properties and we're adding them to their main website. It have a link on there that says, if you're a landlord, go here. You click on the link and then it'll have a description for you to post your property. And these are national sites. So floods and fires take place everywhere. So you can imagine how big the insurance industry is, from State Farm to Aflac, Blue Cross. And then they reach out, so that it all starts there of just placing it, being just a little bit patient. If you don't hear from me in 1 or 2 days, follow up. Did you guys see my, property on your site? I'm a landlord. I have a vacant property right now. And then they'll say, okay, we'll get back to you. Let us get this around and make sure all the agents have it. Before you know it, the phone calls will start coming in. And this is a matter of time. So yeah, so to answer the question, just posting it, it all starts there, but it's better than Airbnb. Less headaches.
It's funny you say that because I got Tiffany on. I want to bring Tiffany up. Tiffany, you on?
Okay.
Tiffany, are you muted? Unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Okay, there you go.
What's up, Tiffany? How you doing? What's up?
Good, thank you. Sorry, you guys. I am in the car. Just got done from working out. But yes, so I am a real estate broker, and I do. Thank you. I actually do the rental homes with the insurance companies actually. And my situation actually turned out a bit different. I actually had my house on the market on the MLS, being that I'm a real estate broker, and one of the insurance companies actually contacted me for my house, being that one of their insurees actually wanted to lease out my house. And when you're leasing out the house with the insurance companies, first of all, you're going through a temporary housing company. So the insurance company is paying for it, but the temporary housing company is the person who you're going to be talking to. You're not going to talk to I didn't talk to the insurance company. I have the contacts for the temporary housing who actually placed the tenants or the insurance people in the property. So I was contacting with them. They contacted me, told me that one of their clients wanted to lease out my home. My home was listing at the time for $2,500 a month. I ended up getting $4,500 a month for my house. And within 6 months, I had the year rent that I would have collected, and they stayed for 8 months. So I'm actually doing my follow walkthrough with them tomorrow. And so just replacing someone else, since I established that rapport with a temporary housing company, I have now access to them directly versus having to go through the insurance companies. And now I'm working with various insurance companies who actually work alongside that temporary housing company. So it's the housing companies that are actually placing the people, and the insurance companies is the one that's sending you the check.
Yes, but I mean, and you're 1,000% right. But in my particular situation, I got a call from Allstate, so that's who I negotiated with. I negotiated with I negotiated with Allstate. I gave them my banking information, and we got the deal done. So it was almost like a catch-22, because you're right. Even though you can go through the agencies, like that's like the liaison. But what happened in my situation, it was like, all right, Preston, either you can take our deal, or I mean, you can talk to them directly. And I didn't like the deal that they gave me, so I said, listen, once they did their walkthrough, it was a matter of them negotiating on their behalf, or the people already. And here's what I found out too: if you get them to do their walkthrough, it's almost no going back. That liaison doesn't want them to see your place, because once they fall in love and say, I like it, now they lost the negotiation power. So I kept forcing them, like, yeah, when they gonna do their walkthrough? When they gonna do their walkthrough? And then once they walk through, now they were in my hands, and I was able to meet the owner or the tenants directly. And then Allstate called me and said, listen, we want to go through with it. So that's who I negotiated. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So mine's worked a little bit different, but still the same. So the tenant actually contacted me, and then the housing company contacted me also. So both, I was in communication with them two versus how you were with Allstate.
Yes. Yes. So I was in Allstate. So, and then same thing too, when you get those contacts, no matter, it all works different for everybody, but the name of the game is whether you have the agencies or you have an insurance company call you, keep the numbers. You know what I mean? Keep the numbers, because right now, even with Frederick, if I wanted to, I can give him the lady from Allstate's number and say, listen, do you have anybody else? And they'll circulate them numbers around. So that's how you kind of build your little system up. And if you get a contact, just save it, So I don't know who reached out to you, but I'm sure if you picked up the phone, you can probably call and get some kind of traction going on within them companies.
Yes. And then so now what I'm doing is I'm actually lining up another tenant through that temporary housing company to see if they're looking for another tenant in the Henry County area where my property is located. So, and it's a cool hit. You get to negotiate your lease amount. I was a bit weary initially about doing like a 6-month lease, but if I could get a 6-month lease and get my payout that pays me for 12 months, and then have another person for 6 months, I just made 2 years worth of work within a year, right?
Yes,
which is paying all my bills, and I'm living for free right now. So it's a win.
And you living in Buckhead.
I love it. I love it. I'm about to say, yeah, Fred, you need to put me in contact with her, man. I need some of that creative structuring. No, but I'm just kidding. But no, but that's good. That's where it's at. And like I said, Frederick, very smart too, man. So you realtors have a different mindset and a lot of different devices when it comes to MLS, credibility, connection. Like you said, they reached out to, and that's another thing too. I want to say right on a call, what they're starting to do too is when you're their first point of contact, they will start calling brokers too. They don't like your deal sometimes. They'll say, let me see if I can reach out to a realtor and get within our number, because they're trying to save that insurance money. So actually, let me see if I have the name of it right here, but there's something on the insurance policy that these people are looking for. Let me see if I have it right here. I don't know if I have, but it's called something like is it like a Reg D or Line D that shows exactly how much their insurance payout is? You remember what that's called? Okay, well, it's something on the insurance policy that tells you exactly how much their payout is. So if their payout is $56,000, they don't want you to know that number, because that's what they're allowed for a housing expense. So then what I do too, you're trying to get that agent to tell you, all right, I don't have it in front of me, but it's called something line item D. But when you look on there on anybody's insurance policy, check your policy tonight. If you own a house or you have a rental, that's how much you're paying as far as your deductible for that insurance policy. So it could be 36,000, it could be 56. And if you divide that by the time they need to be in your house, let's say 56,000 divided by 7, that's their budget, what they can afford. So
right.
Yes. So if you did the math, once you find out what that number, if you did the math and said, okay, how long you want to stay in my house? 7 months. All right. They had a fire burnout. They have an allowance of 56,000, divide that by 6. That might be $9,500 a month that they can afford for your house. So they're trying to negotiate that number down. So there you go.
Right. Absolutely. With and then you always start up, right? So I didn't what I did was I looked to see what was on the market from Airbnbs in my area. because obviously they could have went to the Airbnb and they didn't want to do that. So I pulled up the Airbnb to see how much was on the market in my area based on something that's similar compared to my property, and it was like 7,500. So I knew, like, okay, I told the lady, hey, you could lease this one out for 7,000, and she was like, well, the Airbnbs are there for 75. So I'm just negotiating back and forth with her. I hit 5,500 didn't get approved, but we ended up getting $4,500 approved. So I ended up making that extra 2,000. So it's, to me, it's always a win going through the insurance. It's, you're not going to lose there at all. You're making your money and then some.
I know, I love it, and that's the route. You know, I just hope I can get it down to a tighter science. But I mean, I would like to do probably 80% of my properties that way, because they haven't called me yet. You know what I mean? And one time they did call in reference to having problems with the thermostat, but I called my heater guy. He got over there, and I just told him, I said, listen, man, you know, I'm just like you. I like my peace of mind, and they don't bother me. You know, so I tell them, if you got a major problem, call me. But at the end of the day, if it's anything below $500, you know, you guys can figure it out. And it's like, all right, Preston, we're not going to bother you. And, you know, very peaceful, but I will help them out. But deep down inside, I really don't want to be bothered. You know, you got the house, have fun, you know, enjoy yourself.
Hey, somebody asking about buying properties. Angie, are you still on?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay. Andrew was one of the young ladies I helped with the whole sub 2 thing. Can you share
What's up,
your
Andy?
experience? Can you share your experience with the sub 2? How did that work out for you?
It worked out pretty good. It got a little hectic, but it worked out great. It was done in a month. We got that done, taken care of.
Wow.
Yeah, and awesome. I got a FHA mortgage at 4.5%. My house is being paid off in 10 years. I'm gonna try to see if I could do it in 5, but Fred told me not to. Just take your time. But yeah, a great subject to deal. At 4.5%, like I said, 10 years to pay on the mortgage. Put down a pretty good lump sum because the lady was 2 years behind. For some reason, she was able to keep filing bankruptcy. We don't know how she was able to do that. And we jumped on this subject too. And yeah, I'm staying in it right now for a year. But if I can, y'all turn me on to this, I need to talk to Tiffany. She turned me, I'll be out of here so fast.
Yes.
I'll be in somebody's basement. Man. You hear me? If I could get that, man, I'll be out of here so fast. I leave everything in here for 2 days. Better not tell nothing. I'm out. Yeah. And then I also own property in Florida in Riviera Beach. So when you say that, you know that's Hurricane Tornado Alley.
Yeah, yo, there you go. And what I would do my research like on, I don't know if it's weather.com or whatever, whenever them seasons are. I would do that. Yeah, I would do that and kind of figure out some statistical way of like, all right, when them hurricanes or whatever hit, when do they hit? What's going on? Where do the people go? How many is it? I will figure that out, and I will place myself in that position and start calling the agencies and letting them know now, like, listen, when November come, please keep me in mind. I'm gonna have something ready, and believe they'll be calling your phone like crazy. I mean, yeah, so start setting yourself up. Yeah, I would do that now. Start getting it ready. Yeah.
Sound good.
Yeah, that's the word. If anybody want to connect with me on the sub 2 stuff, I put my information in the chat. Let's say midterm. Can you come on? Who's that? Daniela, can you come on and ask your question? She had a question in the chat. But yeah, if anyone looking to connect with me on the sub 2 stuff, because what they're talking about, basically you buying these properties with sub 2 on sub 2, right? Putting like Angie put a little bit down, but she got that back in equity, right? She got probably what 60, 80 in equity. No, Angie, how much you got in equity in that house?
I think I got more than that now. Yeah, I got into about 80, 80 in equity.
Oh my God. So
yeah.
Yo, if you do the math, right? What she paid for my course, and then she made, I think she at the time she was one of the first ones, like the first ones to kind of jump on. I think she ended up paying like $5,000-$6,000 for my course or whatever to get 80,000 back.
Right.
So next year she's gonna pull that back out, probably do 2 or 3 more deals with that, right? Next year it's probably gonna be 120. Who knows? But the stuff worked, you guys. So anyone looking to connect and do those sub twos, I know Preston, like Fred, yo, walk me to the table. He said, how much you gonna charge me? He said, hey, I need you to walk me all the way to the closing table. I said, I got you, dog. Let's go.
I know. I said Fred's a very smart guy, man. So y'all definitely got a great mentor and a friend, man. Like he has a great heart and loves what he do. And I know he was vetting me, but I was vetting him as well, just to kind of hear his heart. Like I said, but thorough dude, man, very nice. And it was like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we just borrowed the information, but getting a lot of things done. And I'm looking forward to his expertise in coaching, and I'm looking to add value to his life as well.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah,
well,
man.
we're gonna wrap it up, man. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you got a lot to do. You're a busy guy, so we're gonna wrap it up. Like I said, if anybody want to connect and y'all want, I teach personal credit, business credit, and sub too. Okay. All right. Yeah. But yo, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Preston, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you for coming on, spitting the knowledge, giving us game. You taught me something new tonight. You know what I'm saying? So that's good.
And I want to say too, Fred. You know, I mean, I'm a little older now. Like I used to teach and coach. You know, I got books and stuff out, but I don't do the. You know, go find my book here. You know, follow me on Instagram. Listen, hear me out, Fred. I don't do that no more. But here's what I will do. Because I got out of coaching and teaching, I'm focused on investing right now. Is if anybody wants to get in contact with me or they need anything, just have them go through you. Let me know. Like I said, I'll get this stuff away for free, man. Just let me know what your students need, how I can help them. I'm not going to charge them nothing. You know what I mean? I'm letting y'all know everything tonight is free. So if y'all need something from Fred or y'all need something from me, this is a blessing from God. Just reach out to Fred and say, listen, tell Preston I need this. And my word is bond. I will get it to Fred, to you guys. So God bless you. That's my gift to you guys tonight. So
awesome.
We probably gonna bring you on the coaching call one Saturday. My coaching call Saturday.
I'm busy Saturday, Fred. I'm busy Saturday, man. I'm busy Saturday, bro. I got
it might not be this Saturday, but I'm gonna get you one Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get you one Saturday. And I want you to give my guys everything. So that's good, man. I appreciate you, Preston. So with that being said, man, good night. God bless you guys. I will talk to you guys later.
All right. Be blessed, man. God bless y'all.
All right. Good night. Thank you, Preston.
You're welcome, guys.
Thank you, Preston.